you're like me, you probably spent your whole life feeling like you didn't belong here. Like, out of place everywhere you went. And it's funny because the older you get, I used to think that that feeling would go away, and it's almost it's almost crazier now than it's ever been. But I think that that's just the times, you know. If you've felt like that your whole life, then I can pretty much guarantee you that you, like me, are just now figuring out that you came here, you came into your body to be here at this time on purpose. And you can start to kind of look around and find appreciation for the fact that you felt like a black sheep your whole life, because it meant that you were meant to do more. You know, the fact that you didn't just kind of succumb to what they were telling you, you know, what mom, dad, teacher, minister were telling you your whole life. The fact that you always felt like this is not right. This can't be right. This can't be all there is. The fact that you didn't let that kind of creep in and take over, and you did stay on the outside of things, you know. You may have a few friends here and there, and if you do, then they're probably really good friends, because they would have to be, you know, because superficial connections don't really do it when you're in this place that I feel like I'm in, and probably if you're still watching this right now, you feel that way too. So I started making videos last summer sort of as therapy, because I had just left a situation that was really comfortable, yet, you know, not working, but very comfortable. And it was really painful to leave. And so I spent all of last summer just making TikToks, you know, not expecting anything really to come of it. And people were resonating with me, you know, people started watching, and I started kind of committing myself to that, you know. I felt like suddenly, for the first time in my life, I had all these friends, and I had people who were counting on me and kind of relying on me to get on there every day and just talk to them, you know, talk to them about what it's like to be a being on this planet, and to not feel like you understand what's going on, and then at the same time to feel like you're starting to understand all of it all at once. So that's where it all started, and now it feels more like this is actually maybe what I was always supposed to be doing. You know, I still have a job. I still have a real world 3D job that, you know, I have my days where I'm very, very grateful. I would say for the most part, most of the time, I'm very grateful. And then I have days where I can't imagine doing it for one more day. Where I just feel like I'm like a bird in a cage, you know? But what I know, what I'm figuring out, and what's helping me, you know, sort of find appreciation for that more so than feeling the need to escape anymore, is knowing that this is all a divine orchestration, you know? This is all a plan. Your life was planned by you and God, Source, the Creator, Spirit, whatever word you prefer to plug in there that doesn't make you feel triggered. But you and the source of all that is sat down and had a little powwow, and you figured out how you would approach this little game down here. You would come to Earth School, and you would learn some things about yourself, a lot of things about yourself, and you would learn a lot of things about how the world works, the way that you were You were meant to understand it, right? And you knew that you would wake up to that. You knew that you would wake up to that. The reality that you had planned at some point. And the thing is that not everybody does. Not everybody does wake up. A lot of people will go and, having planned their life out with God and having lessons that they wanted to learn, they don't ever wake up to that fact, and they spend their whole time here kind of walking around like with a paper bag over their head, bumping around in the dark, not really understanding why they're here, and get all the way through to the end of their life and never ever realize that. And then they come back and they try it again, so what I'm starting to figure out as someone who has awakened to that fact and who is deciding now that I think I must have decided that I would wake up to that fact and I would help others wake up to that. What I've figured out is that if you do awaken to the fact that you are a spiritual being having a human experience, it's not only your duty to do what you came here to do, but if you can in some way be an example, especially at this time, if you can in some way be an example so that other people can find their way back to themselves too, then you have a duty to do that also, not to preach at people, not to try to drag anyone who's not ready down the path with you, but to just be the best version of you that you can possibly be, and let others see that, and then help them remember. So if you're like me and you've spent your whole life feeling out of place and you want to know what your purpose is, that's your purpose. That's your whole purpose. If you understand that being the best version of you that you can possibly be is your purpose, then everything else is going to fall into place. Everything you're supposed to be doing, the things that you feel deep inside of you that you really want, the core of what you want to feel. We all want basically the same stuff. We want to be happy, we want to feel free. We want to feel abundant and loved and heard and seen and cared for. But if you find those things in yourself first, and for me, I had to get alone. I had to get real alone to figure these things out, because I was using other people. I was using other people to try to find those things within me. I was trying to get other people to validate me and make me feel worthy, and all these catchphrases that you hear self-help people talking about. But it's true. You're searching for you the whole time in other people. If I can just have this perfect life, if I can just have this perfect relationship, if I can just have this perfect job, if I can make enough money, all these things that don't mean anything, because what you really came here to do was to find you. You who is a multi-dimensional, amazing being. You're a being. You're not this meat suit. You should care for this meat suit while you're here and take care of it and value it and not shame yourself. But you're so much more than this. And you don't need anyone else to help you discover that. What you need is to get in touch with you and start to pay attention to the things about you that are so beautiful and so wonderful and so unique. There is no one like you. They agree. There's no one like you. And your appreciation for yourself and your purpose, they're all entwined together. All of that, it all goes together. And once you can start appreciating you for who you are, your purpose will find you. Your purpose will find you. Your people will find you. The money will find you. Everything is a mirror. Everything is either reflecting back to you something to appreciate about yourself, or something about yourself that maybe you'd like to change because you don't really like what you're seeing. You know? How certain people make you feel. It's always showing you. Everyone around you is showing you. Everyone's showing you your purpose. And if you can get into that place and you can start to realize that and really see yourself, your shadow side and the light, and you can appreciate all of it at the same time, that's when the real magic starts to happen. And I'm finding that for myself now. You know, like I said, I'm still working a job that I have no business not appreciating. I'm very well taken care of, let's say. I'm in a better position, I would say, in the 3D than I've ever been in my entire life, actually. You know, I don't feel any pangs of fear. You know, I don't feel like I don't have enough. I feel like I have so much that I don't ever have any business complaining. But inevitably, we come to a moment where, you know, we always want more. You know, ultimately, we want to be free, mostly. And so, it's starting to rain now a little bit. I mean, I'm sitting on a beach. You know, there's a lot of people, and I've had people comment in my videos before, you know, what do you have to complain about? You get to walk on the beach every day if you want. And trust me, I see it. I understand. I know. I'm so grateful. And still there's more. Still there's more for me. But kind of my point, I think, of this whole video today is that if you find yourself like I do in this place where you don't necessarily feel like you fit in, you know there's more for you. We are on the verge of a complete and total paradigm shift. If you can't feel that yet, if you haven't been privy to that yet, I'm just here to let you know that the world is changing. Gaia, this beautiful planet that has consciousness, that is alive, is also done with kind of the 3D matrix that we have all sort of constructed around her. She's done with it too. So all of these natural disasters that you're seeing, all of the events that are happening worldwide, this is a purge, and she's participating. So do your best to, if you don't meditate, I would highly suggest that it's something that you might like to try, at least just to calm the noise and get into a place where the chatter is just chatter. You're not falling into that and listening to it, and you're able to find center because she, Earth, Gaia, is speaking to you now. You have guides who are always with you, who are speaking to you, and the veil between us and those things is getting much, much thinner now. And you're going to have the ability in the coming time, and I use the term time loosely because time is just a concept. It's a human construct. Everything is happening right now. We have a hard time wrapping our head around that. But if you can find the still moments in every bit of your day, you can allow the guidance, and you can trust fall into the universe. just knowing that you are so divinely guided and protected. You always have been, but especially at this time, if you can find that place, your whole world is going to transform around you. It's already happening, and the world is changing for the better. Remember, where you're focused is always what you're going to experience. So if you choose to, you can choose to focus on all the things that are going wrong. You can choose to look at all the items on the buffet that you don't like and complain about them instead of putting all the things that you do want to eat on your plate. You can do that. You have free will. But I'm here to tell you that everything is changing right now. Your purpose, your sole purpose, is to be the most in tune, the most heart-centered, the most like Christ that you can possibly be version of yourself. And if you can be that, you're about to have an experience that many, 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 many billions of souls got in line to be here at this time to have. You are that special. And you are not alone. We are all going through this together, and everyone is at their own level of understanding. Whatever level that may be, that's not a judgment call. Everyone chose to have their own experience. Those who aren't awakening are having a different experience, that's all. But if you're still watching this video right now, I can guarantee you that you came here at this time to experience this transition, and we are right on the cusp of a completely new reality. So, I love you so much. There are no accidents, and if you're watching this, we found each other. You found me through this video. I'm finding you. Our tribe is coming together. All of us are finding each other now, and there are no accidents, and you are not alone, and things are about to get really, really good. So, I'm so happy you're here. Stay with me. Let's do this. Let me know in the comments how you're feeling. So happy to have met you. So happy for all that's coming. God bless you. Have a blessed day.